Hey guys, listen up. I didn't believe this story until I heard it from someone who swore it happened to his brother. And to be honest, after you hear it, you might never look at your front door the same way again. If you're brave enough, hit subscribe and drop a comment, maybe just 3 dots, if you survive till the end. Now, let me tell you about the Knox. A friend of mine once told me about his older brother, Jason. Jason was in his late 20s, living alone in a 1-bedroom apartment just outside Seattle. A quiet building, 5 floors, mostly young professionals. Nothing sketchy. Until it started. It always happened at exactly 3:00 a.m. 3 knocks. Not loud. Not frantic, just measured. Knock, knock, knock. Jason told his brother he didn't think much of it the first time. Probably a drunk neighbor, he thought. He even opened the door, nobody there. No footsteps, no creaking in the hall, just silence, too quiet. The next night, same thing. 3:00 a.m. sharp, knock. 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 Jason looked through the peephole. No one. He opened the door again. The hallway was empty, lights buzzing faintly. He was still trying to rationalize it. Maybe he was sleepwalking. Maybe it was a dream. But the knocks kept coming. Always 3. Always 3:00 a.m. Never earlier, never later. By the 5th night, he stopped opening the door. He sat on the couch, watching the clock. 2:59, he held his breath. 3:00 a.m. Knock, knock, knock. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. He just stared at the door. After a minute, he slowly walked to it. And without opening it, he pressed his ear against the wood. No breathing, no shuffling. But the air on the other side felt cold. Jason told his brother that the next morning. The doormat was slightly crooked, just a little barely noticeable. He never touched it. The next few nights, it continued. He started putting his phone to record audio during the night. Every time, at exactly 3:00 a.m., the knocks were there clear as day, but something else showed up on the recording. After the 3rd knock, a few seconds of silence, and then a whisper. Too faint to understand, but it was there. He played it for his brother, slowed it down, amplified it. Nothing made it clearer, just a voice. Like it was speaking under its breath, from behind the door. Jason began to lose sleep. His face looked drawn, his eyes shadowed. His brother said it was like he was carrying something invisible on his back. And came the 10th night. 3:00 a.m. He sat on his bed, facing the door. This time, the knocks were louder. More deliberate knock. Knock, knock, he whispered. Who's there? No answer. But the air in the room shifted, like something moved in with him. He didn't open the door. He couldn't. And that's when the scratching began. The scratching wasn't frantic. It was slow, rhythmic, like fingers dragging across wood. Jason froze. He stared at the door, his mind caught between sleep-deprived logic and creeping dread. After a minute, the sound stopped. The next morning, he checked the door. Nothing visible, no marks. But when he touched the wood, he felt its small, almost imperceptible grooves, as if someone had scratched it gently with a nail. Not a tool, a nail. Jason didn't tell anyone else. Not his neighbors, not his landlord, just his brother. He started keeping the hallway light on, slept with it flooding in from beneath the door. But that didn't help. On the 12th night, he dreamt of the knocks before they even came. In the dream, he was in the hallway, staring at his own door from the outside. He knocked 3 times. From inside, he heard someone whisper his name. When he woke up, it was 2:59 a.m. He sat upright, drenched in sweat. 3:00 a.m. Knock, knock, knock. He didn't respond. He didn't breathe. But that night, for the first time, the knock came again. 30 seconds later, knock, knock, knock. Twice in one night. That had never happened before. Jason didn't sleep the rest of the night. He checked outside as soon as the sun rose. No one. No signs. But his neighbor, an old woman across the hall, peeked out and said something that made his stomach drop. You should sleep with salt by your door. You never know what tries to come in at night. And she shut the door without another word. Jason bought salt that same afternoon. That evening, he poured a thick line of it across the threshold. He double-checked the lock, sat on the couch, lights on. Phone recording. At 3:00 a.m., the knocks came again. But this time, something changed. Knock, knock, knock. Followed by a breath. Right at the base of the door. A soft inhale, then a second breath. Deeper. Like something trying to smell him through the wood. Jason backed away. The line of salt remained untouched, but the air felt thicker, heavy with something that didn't belong. That morning, when he checked the audio, the knocks were clear again. But the breath, it didn't sound human. More like an echo, dragged from somewhere deep, and the whispers still there. But this time, it wasn't just one. There were two distinct voices, speaking over each other. And in the last second of the recording, something scraped across the door, like a fingernail curling against it from the outside, then stopping. Mid-sentence, Jason was unraveling. He kept the salt, kept the lights on, but he knew something was waiting. And it was getting closer. On the 15th night, Jason called his brother. I think it wants me to open the door, he said, voice flat, barely above a whisper. Not just once. It wants me to let it in. His brother offered to come stay the night. Jason refused. It doesn't want you. Just me. That night, Jason recorded again. But he didn't wait by the door. He sat in the bathroom, back against the tub, holding a knife he never thought he'd need. At exactly 3:00 a.m., the knocks came. Knock, knock, knock. He stayed frozen, listening through the wall. And then the doorknob turned, just slightly. A subtle click of metal shifting, like someone was testing it slowly, quietly. Jason didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't blink. The knob held for a moment, and released. Nothing more. He waited until daylight. When he checked the door, the salt line was broken, a small gap, barely wide enough for a finger. That's when he started researching the apartment building. He found an old news clipping online. 10 years ago, a woman had vanished from the same unit, his unit. Disappeared without a trace. Neighbors said she was acting strange, sleep-deprived, paranoid. Claimed something kept knocking on her door. Always at 3:00 a.m., always 3 times. Her name was Anna Wright. Jason scrolled through archived forums. One post caught his eye, written by someone who claimed to be Anna's cousin. She told me not to come over. Said if you hear it knock at 3 a.m., don't answer. Not ever. If you open the door once, it won't leave. Jason's hands trembled as he scrolled to the last line. I asked her how many nights it had been. She said 17. Jason counted. Tonight would be night 17. He didn't know what it meant, but his gut told him something would change. He called his brother again. If I don't answer tomorrow, don't come looking for me. Just don't come here. That night, he reinforced the salt, bolted the door, shut all the lights, and waited. 3:00 a.m. Nothing. No knock, no breath, just silence. Jason sat frozen, unsure if it was over or just beginning. Then at 3:17 a.m., the smoke detector chirped once, then stopped. He stepped out cautiously, holding his breath. The hallway was empty. The door still shut. Salt line untouched. Relief started to wash over him, until he noticed something on the floor. His doormat, it was gone. He blinked, then slowly turned his head and saw it, folded neatly, placed at the back door inside the apartment. That door had been locked for weeks. He never used it. No one should have had access. Jason stood there for minutes, not moving, not thinking, just listening. Then from the other side of the back door,
Knock, knock, knock.
Jason didn't open the back door. He didn't move, didn't breathe. He stepped back, slowly, the knife still clenched in his hand. 3 knocks on the wrong side of the apartment, the side no one ever used. He turned all the lights on.
Sat in the kitchen until sunrise. When he finally checked, the back door was still locked.
The salt line he placed hours ago was gone. Not disturbed, not scattered. Gone. That morning, Jason left. He didn't pack, didn't clean. He just walked out. He moved in with his brother 2 towns over. Never went back for his things. For a while, he seemed okay. He slept again, ate, laughed a little. But he refused to be alone in a room with a door after midnight. And he always kept salt in his pockets, just in case. Then, on a rainy Thursday, 2 months later, his brother found him standing in front of the door to the basement. Just standing, staring. He'd been down there earlier, he said, just to check the fuse box. When his brother asked why he was so pale, Jason shook his head. I didn't hear the knock, he whispered. I felt it. That night, he set up cameras, audio recorders, the full setup. He wanted proof, something to fight back with. His brother watched the footage the next morning.
At exactly 3:00 a.m., Jason was asleep on the couch.
Everything silent. Then 3 faint knocks.
But not on the front door.
Not on the back door. They came from inside the apartment. From the closet. Just behind where Jason was sleeping. Knock. 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 Jason flinched in his sleep. Turned over. Didn't wake. The next frame showed the closet door open, half an inch more than before. Jason never saw the footage.
The next day, he was gone.
No note, no struggle. Just gone. The police searched. Of course, found nothing. The camera footage that night, it cut out at exactly 2:59 a.m. Came back on at 3:06. The closet door wide open. Room empty. Jason's salt packet left on the floor, torn open. My friend never found him. But he kept the audio files Jason sent him. I've heard them myself. I don't play them anymore, because on one of the last recordings, after the 3rd knock, a voice clearer than ever whispers just one word. Soon. So if you ever hear a knock at 3:00 a.m., 3 times, always 3, don't open the door. Don't listen. Don't speak. Because it doesn't knock to come in. It knocks to find out if you're home. If you're still breathing after this story, leave a sign,
A comment. Anything.
Just don't answer the door tonight. Sleep well, if you can.